Not cousin Jay. Host Jay.
We are the New York Knicks. I'm back. Rocking in New York. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks taking no shorts just like winter.
New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Go New York, go New York, go!
Everybody, it's the New York Knicks podcast, episode 527, part of Dash Radio and only Dash Radio.
We've had, I guess we've lost our networks, Jay.
Looks that way, yes.
Okay, who cares?
The intro's a lot, you hated the long intro, and now it's short. So
if the intro is short, I appreciate that. We are joined today. We have two Jays in the program. It's going to get confusing. We have host Jay, who you're just hearing, and we have cousin Jay from the Burbs, who is broadcasting live from a hot tub. How you doing, cousin Jay?
Cousin Jay, that would be me. I'm doing great. Episode 536, but who's counting? Was it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a lot of episodes, right? I mean, like, it's really sad.
I can't believe it's taken you guys this long to invite cousin Jay onto the program. I mean, come on. I would have thought, decades ago, at least.
Yeah, we should have had cousin Jay on a long time ago. I don't know why I didn't think of it, especially because cousin Jay is my cousin. But cousin Jay is a huge Knicks fan. He's here to talk lots of great things about our Knicks team that seems to be withering away.
Yeah, Marc and I have brought our kids to many Knicks games together through the years at the good old Garden, and hopefully we'll get back there soon. And it's gonna be things are looking up. It's beautiful out. The Knicks are winning some games here and there. That thing you might have heard of called, what was it, Dovid, whatever it was. That seems like it's maybe run its course. Hopefully. You
did the virus notice James Dolan is gone?
Exactly, Dolan-id. But happy spring. Spring is sprung.
So Jay, how are you? You're a lifelong Knicks fan. How are you feeling about the team this year?
I like the fact that we're competitive. That's all you could ask for. We have a chance in almost any game we play in. I think there was maybe 2 or 3 games all year that we just kind of, we were totally outmatched from the start. But other than that, I mean, we've been very competitive, and the future looks bright. I didn't wear my shades, but I should have, because as you can see, it's really bright back here.
The Knicks are looking a lot better this season. They've been very competitive. They've been very fun. Up until this last week or two, it's gotten a little less fun the last week or two. They've blown some games they should have won. How are you feeling about the season overall, in the sense of, like, do you think if you had to grade the season up to this point, what letter grade would you give them compared to your expectations?
What letter grade would I give them? Are we talking based on expectations?
Yeah, just expectations. Not like, obviously overall they're about 500, but like based on what you expected coming to the season.
So in the context of where we are right now in our lives, and I think the Knicks are playing really well. I'd say I give them a solid B. I mean, I think that it's a little frustrating with Mitch Rob, in and out. It's a little frustrating. Although sometimes in and out can be the opposite of frustrating. But I think that, look, Taj and Mr. Nerlens have really stepped up. I mean, defensively, they're holding it down. They're really formidable, and I think that it's you could see the intimidation on the other team. There's a lot of kickouts that they probably didn't necessarily want to make. There's a lot of obviously tons of blocked shots. And, in turn, obviously offense is what happens. We become stagnant, and we just force shots. And last night in the fourth quarter, for example, going into the fourth quarter tied with the Nets. And what happens? We just can't get any decent shots. Everybody stops cutting. The movement stops. We stop, we don't get any decent looks at all. And then we start trying to make these acrobatic shots. We hit 1 or 2, and then we miss 4. And we start turning the ball over really poorly with very terrible decisions, passing and such. So, but, look, up until now, you're right. The last week has been kind of frustrating. We probably should have won 2 of those games. But I'm definitely happy, man. I like watching this team. I definitely get excited when I put the game on. So that's I sit down with my kids, and that's all I could really hope for, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the last couple of seasons, by January, you're like the team is almost unwatchable.
Right.
It's been a lot of like the thing you've noticed watching them, even when they lose, you're like the defense really. I mean, they're a top 5 defense in the NBA. The defense really looks like everyone. I mean, they have lapses, but generally speaking, everyone is on defense. They play. You got to play team defense, and they really do it, and it makes a big difference. It's just their bottom 5 in offense, and it really shows, especially at crunch time against the Nets, against Minnesota. They have trouble scoring when it comes to crunch time, and and Randall can only do so much, and then no one else kind of steps up a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more cheddar cheese D than Swiss cheese D, luckily.
So
yeah.
you had to take off the show, and I want to ask you on the show. I hope you don't mind. You are not a giant fan of. You're not a huge fan of Randall.
I mean, I definitely, again, in the context, on this team, on this particular team, Julius Randle is obviously our number 1 scoring option. It's pretty much our number 1 everything option. I mean, he had an amazing game last night. Very streaky. The game before, I think he maybe 2 games ago, he missed tons of shots, but I mean, you can't blame him because it's all on his shoulders. So
right.
If he had another score, like another legitimate score, and I feel like RJ could become that score. I feel like IQ can become that score. They're not there yet. So
yeah.
At this moment in time, if Randall had a nice complimentary, score, forget we have shooters. Okay, we have plenty of shooters, which is amazing. I can't remember the last time the Knicks have had this many 3-point shooters that I felt confident about when the ball was released from their hands. But look, Julius has played an amazing. He's an opportunist, obviously. He's taken that opportunity to run with it, and he's done very, very well for us this year, and he came into, more importantly than anything, forget his performance, forget his play. He came into camp in shape. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it to me. That's it. He has tons of energy. I mean, it's crazy to see how much energy he has on the court. I don't know where he gets it. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I think he's averaging, just under 70 minutes a game. It seems like Tibbs actually wants to kill Randall, and Randall's like, he doesn't see. I know people say he seems gassed at times, but like generally speaking, he seems up for it. Basically. Yeah,
it's crazy. Him and actually, I feel like Bullock has a ton of energy too. I was noticing that last night. Those guys it's like they're twice as fast as everyone on the court. Not in terms of, just not in terms of really speed, but just up and down.
Has Bullock grown on you? Because Bullock has really grown on me. Because I think early in the season I was kind of down on him. I didn't think he was doing that much. I've noticed now his defense is getting a lot better, and him and Randall, like he just has like a nice 2-man game with Randall. Like Randall just seems to make sure Bullock gets open for threes, and Bullock's been knocking them down lately at a nice clip.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see. I mean, Bullock he's a true shooter. He has an amazing quick release. I love he gets to the open spot and he gets rid of the ball quickly, and he's been hitting a ton of shots. It's really amazing to see.
I feel like he's of everyone shooting threes right now, he's the guy I'm probably most confident, even more so than Quickly. Quickly, he's got a nice shot, but like his minutes have been down, but in some ways I don't blame Tibbs because I want to see more Quickly. At the same time, he hasn't been good. He hasn't been good in a little while.
Right. Well, he's a rookie, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I love Quickly. I think I think he has a great presence of mind on defense. He tends to get into the passing lane pretty well. He's a little. I wouldn't say soft, but soft. I guess kind of like he's not the strongest. I mean, what do you even consider Quickly? He's not. I guess he's a 2. He's not the strongest 2 out there.
He's kind of like he doesn't pass enough as a point guard. Like there's a lot. He has a lot to work on. He's a rookie, and there's a lot to go. He's got a great foundation.
Yeah, for sure. For a rookie, I mean, it's incredible watching. And the other thing about Quickly is his confidence is incredible. I mean, he looks like he's a 10-year guy.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I watch him like, hey, why don't you step 5 feet in before you shoot that 3?
Right, exactly. A little bit. Sometimes the confidence is a little beyond where maybe it should be. But yeah, I mean, I like to see that rather than the other way around for sure. But
yeah, I guess rather than Obi, I like the IQ confidence, not the Obi. I'm going to try to avoid being involved in any of these plays.
Yeah, that's a shame. But Obi, it'll come around. I mean, Obi's always been that guy, and he's not a guard. He just has to fit. I also think that he doesn't really have, on the Knicks offense, he doesn't really gel that well at this point on the Knicks offense. It's either him against the world, or they need to incorporate more plays for Obi. I feel like.
I would agree with you. I feel like I watch. Sometimes he just doesn't seem to know. Like he could stand on the 3-point line and chuck a three, but that's not what he's really here for. And he had a couple plays this week. I think in the Mavericks game, maybe he had a couple plays that looked pretty good. He had one play last night in the Nets game that was pretty good. When he's aggressive, but he's
put back that incredible
right
dunk. I mean, that was incredible. His athleticism. I mean, nobody's challenging that.
He had like 3 plays in a row in the Mavericks game where I'm like, this is the guy we drafted. Finally, I'm seeing the guy we drafted.
Yeah. That's happened maybe once or twice this season where he's showing flashes of that, and then he kind of like fades into the background. And you're like, dude, step up, do something.
So here's what I feel like the Knicks are really missing more than anything. I mean, they need to score, but they need a point guard. I don't think they really have. Like, I think of the guys they have right now, Derrick Rose is the closest thing to a real point guard. Peyton. Like, you don't have anyone that's really setting up Obi for plays. There's no one making Randall's life easier. Like, you need a guy that makes everyone's life easier. And the guy who's making everyone's life easier in some ways is Randall, but it doesn't really help when your best guy is doing that.
Yeah, I mean, point guard would be nice. Like a floor general would be really nice. On the plus side, all of our guards can shoot the ball, which is nice to see. It really spreads things out. For a guy like Obi to cut and move with the ball, which he hasn't done. But, we have, our shooters. I agree with you. I mean, how long has it been since he's had a legitimate point guard, right? I mean, who was a legitimate point guard, really, if you think about it?
I mean, like, Peyton, first of all, Peyton can't shoot, but Rose is okay. And IQ can shoot, but he's not the best passer yet. They don't, we don't see a lot of, and we don't see a lot of with Randall or Obi or anyone. You don't see a lot of actual pick and roll.
Yeah. That's true. So you don't think Peyton can shoot at all? I mean, obviously he's good. He's better than, let's say, like Frankie was at his stage, or he's better than, he's definitely, he can shoot. I mean, he hasn't been very successful shooting, but he's confident, shooting the basketball. He doesn't pass up shots.
No, I think Peyton around the basket is good.
Like he's coaching, actually, mind you, but
yeah, I think Peyton around the basket's good, but like his outside shot is pretty bad for his whole career. Yeah,
I mean, okay, he's not our best shooter, but when I see him shoot a three, I'm like, okay, it might go in. I'm not completely turned off, like I have been in years past. But I get what you're saying. I mean, a nice solid point guard that can really run the floor. Derrick Rose, he's awesome. In terms of starting, I don't think so, but in terms of coming off the bench and really out, energying, the other squad, and just out hustling them, once the first string shot, it's really nice to see D Rose come in and do that. He's like a little firecracker.
Yeah, I mean the second group, if you have Rose, Burks, and IQ out there, you have like 3 like guys that can go off at times, and it's a very exciting second group.
Tons of energy, absolutely.
Yeah, I like it's hard you have to figure out how you're going to improve this roster, and I feel like if you can you're going to draft. Maybe you can sign Lonzo Ball. I don't know. Maybe you sign someone. If you can get a real starting point guard, I think this team would look so much better.
Yeah, I take that in a heartbeat.
I think my thing with Toppin, and I think the same thing has happened with Knox and Ntilikina. I always feel like one issue the NBA has is like in baseball, you go to the minors first, then you come to the majors. The NBA has never been like that. You come to the NBA. Some guys now go to the G League if you're not highly drafted, and you could work on your game and eventually develop and make it to the pros, which may take a year or who knows how long. I feel like some guys like Knox, Toppin, their development in some way has been hindered by going directly to the NBA.
100%. Is that directed at me still? I 100% agree with that. I think that college, or even, like it used to be even high school to the NBA, it's just, they're just dominating guys based on raw, natural ability, just natural talent and that kind of thing. Not so much, it's not organized basketball in terms of what the NBA needs, what the NBA calls for. But yeah, absolutely. Toppin's, I agree with that 100%. Toppin really could use that sort of tutelage, which I think he's getting. I think he's getting that. I think that's why IQ's minutes kind of scaled back a bit.
Yeah. I think like I remember first year Knox was in the league. The Knicks played him a lot, and it didn't necessarily work out for his development.
With Knox?
Yeah. In his rookie year, the Knicks gave him a lot of minutes and didn't really help in some ways.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I mean, you could definitely overplay rookies, I think with IQ though, a lot of those guards have stepped up. Like you said, Bullock stepped up beyond where we expected him. And I think that's one of the reasons why IQ's minutes have scaled back. I think Tibbs is using him based on necessity. And now it's like, you know what? These other guys can play basketball, These other guys are pretty decent guards. They can shoot, they can pass. I mean, our passing has been exceptional when we do it. And so maybe, he's like, look, I don't need IQ to win the games anymore, maybe. I don't know.
Do you think so? The Knicks are at the point right now where I think they're 20, 25, and 26. They're one game under 500. They probably, I don't know if they're going to get the 7th or 8th seed, but they'll probably at least get the play-in game. So it's going to be a successful season overall. But I guess what should Tibbs be doing right now? Should he be going all out to win every game? Or should he also focus on player development? Like, should he force extra minutes for Toppin, force extra minutes for Quickly, because development is more important in some ways than winning every game?
I think we briefly touched upon that last time I saw you over the weekend. It's nice to see we're not in like the tank game, and that the tank debate isn't happening. I mean, although you kind of just brought it back up, but
no, but not even tanking. I'm just like, can you both try to win and develop, like force like a, hey, we're going to try to win, but I'm going to also lock in 15 minutes each for Toppin and IQ. We're going to try to win with those guys getting those minutes and see how it works.
The development thing for sure is, I would say almost as important as winning game. Okay. So the development will come, in heated, fourth quarter battles on our way, hopefully into the playoffs, just to qualify.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with that also.
What are we in 7th or 8th right now?
Yeah, I think 7th. Host Jay, are you still alive?
Yeah, I'm alive, but they're in 8th.
Okay, cool.
Okay. How do you guys feel about that? Is that something?
I kind of go back and forth because I'm like, I mean, if Tibbs was like, to win, I'm going to play a 6-man rotation and just cut out guys like IQ and Toppin because I feel like we have a better chance of making the playoffs without them. I'd be like, well, I don't know. Like, should we go all in? And is it really worth going all in if you're going to cut out some of the guys from playing time?
Right, completely, right.
Yeah, like at some point, IQ's. I'm a little frustrated. Like, I understand IQ. One of the issues is I feel like he throws up some wild shots and makes some poor decisions, and maybe Tibbs has less patience for that when they're trying to win. At the same time, I don't think that highly of Peyton. But at the same time, I'd like to see Quickly get 20 minutes a night because I feel like he's earned it at this point. And if it ends up costing us a game or two, it'd be worth it. And I'd like to see Toppin get a few more minutes because, I mean, why not? Like, let's just figure out if we can get him to be more aggressive and if we have something there.
Right. Quickly's getting a good amount of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it goes in and out. Some nights he does get them, and some nights, like in the net game, he got 13 minutes. And I think the Minnesota game, he didn't get that many minutes. And it's frustrating those nights, I guess.
What if those two wins, those two losses that could have been wins are the reason why we don't make the playoffs? It's tough, it's really, really tough to balance that. It always is in every sport, development versus, immediate success,
Right. And I'm glad the Knicks didn't go all in at the trade deadline. Because, I'm glad they're like, we're just going to play with this team. Yes. But at the same time, it's like, because I'm glad they didn't make any short-term stupid moves. Though they did actually, we should, host Jay, you haven't mentioned, the Knicks made 2 giant moves this week.
Huge moves.
Cousin Jay, do you know that the Knicks made 2 gigantic signings?
The Knicks made 2, let's see. Well, they got the guy from the D League. I saw that.
Hell, yeah. He had 2 in the Detroit game. He had 2 block shots, so it looked kind of cool.
And they got another big man I saw.
They got another big man.
I haven't seen, obviously I haven't seen him play, but yeah, I heard about it.
John Henson, former host of the Wipeout show, is now on the Knicks.
I actually sent him congratulations on Twitter.
You've heard Cousin Jay, you ever watch Wipeout?
Yes. Wait, that's the host of Wipeout?
No. That guy's name is also John Henson. Yeah. He actually.
His name was John Henson, right? His name was John Henson.
Yeah. So the host of the Wipeout show, Wipeout, is named John Henson. He is a huge Knicks fan, and we once had him actually. Probably the biggest celebrity we've ever had on our Knicks show. We had him come on once. He was nice enough to come on with us.
Nice.
Anyway, so since we're never gonna probably see this John Henson play, I'm just gonna pretend the guy from the Wipeout's on the team.
All right, let's go with it.
Yeah.
He's been one of your guests, and everything else, and let's go with it. Why not? I mean, that must be a fun job. Imagine being the host of Wipeout.
I imagine being on Wipeout. I think it would be kind of just a fun show to do. I mean, I'm sure. Like, how hurt could you really get?
He was also on Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which is pretty awesome.
I didn't realize he was on that show.
Yeah.
Cousin Jay, you watch Space Ghost Coast to Coast?
I have not.
Okay.
Negative
Ghost Rider?
Exactly. Coast to Coast Rider.
Yeah. Hey, so just to also, I saw this of where the Knicks are, basically. I thought this was kind of interesting. So the Knicks record versus teams that are over 500. This was before they played the Nets. This was just interesting. So the Knicks play teams that are below, basically sub 500. The Knicks are 12-4. When the Knicks play teams that are over 500, they're 6-16. So they have obviously a lot worse record against teams that are good, which is bad teams. You're supposed to beat when you're a bad team. The first step forward is beating the other bad teams, and eventually you start beating the other good teams, right?
I agree with that. I mean, we're winning the games we should win. We also happen to be playing a lot of teams with like injured stars.
Yeah.
So last night, obviously last night was a few of them, but it just seems like, and those are the games I think we should be winning. And so, I guess a couple of them we are. We won Milwaukee, we beat Milwaukee on the road. But yeah, I think there's a few of those in there that we should have probably won. But yeah, absolutely, we're winning the games we should be winning.
So
years past, it's almost been the opposite.
Yeah, but the games against teams over 500, 3 of those wins came in the Knicks' first 8 games of the season, and one of those wins was the game against the Bucks, where the Bucks play the G League, their G League squad. Right. So they haven't actually had too many wins this season against teams that are over 500 when they are trying.
They've had a lot of close games, though.
They've had a lot of close games, though. Absolutely. So why I make this point and why I bring this up, and obviously they lost to the Nets last night. So in the Knicks' final 20 games, and this included the net game that just was last night, they have 11 games versus teams that are over 500. 2 of the games against teams that are below 500 are against Toronto. So they have a so even the games that are supposed to be the easier games, some of them are pretty hard games. And they also have a game against Memphis. And they have a game against Boston, who counts as a sub 500 team right now. So the Knicks' schedule the rest of the way is goddamn brutal.
Yeah,
so
I actually looked at the schedule when you asked me to come on here. It's definitely not an easy schedule.
They're probably going to be in the play-in game. I was really hoping they'd finish 5th so that they didn't have to worry about that, but it looks like they're going to be in the play-in game.
The Knicks would have to step up their game tremendously to get to 500 with this schedule, and they're likely going to end the season they're probably going to go something like 7-13, 6-14 in this stretch. It's going to be a brutal stretch, and the whole season is going to look a lot worse because the stretch is just a tough schedule.
It could be. I mean, it definitely could be. It looks like the very foreseeable future. It looks like we have some games that. By the way, I had to get out of the hot tub. I was frying.
Okay.
But the very foreseeable future looks like we have some games that we could win, as in like the next leg we could too.
Yeah, that's also why they blowing the game like the Minnesota was such a brutal game, because you blow that game and you had to win.
Yeah.
Then you have the schedule coming up that's a lot worse. I guess they have coming up in the next week or so. They have Boston, Memphis, and Toronto the next week, and the Lakers. And the Lakers don't have LeBron, so that's a winnable game.
Toronto's not winning either.
Toronto, they could win. Memphis, this is like the easier part of the schedule in some ways.
Yeah, maybe. Let's hope.
Yeah, it's a rough schedule going forward.
I like to. Do you know when Robinson's coming back. Have they announced that?
I think he's done for the season. Jay, host Jay. Is Mitchell Robinson coming back?
Doubtful. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not definite, but it's pretty doubtful.
Maybe for the playoffs because he broke his foot. So
that's why they're bulking up the center position. They're preparing for him not to be coming back.
Yeah, with height and everything. Yep.
How many centers do you need though? Just in the sense, like, are these like is Henson and Pell going to add? Like, you just need a third guy in case the first two guys just foul out.
I think Pell get a game the other night.
Against Detroit, and he broke his I think he broke his finger.
Hence the acquisition of Wipeout.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess we haven't even mentioned. So coming into this, the Knicks played since the last show. They played they lost to Minnesota, which was just brutal. They beat the Mavericks. Sorry, they lost to the Mavericks. They beat the Pistons and then lost to the Nets last night. The Pistons game was the only one that was really fun. Like the Pistons basically have a G League squad, so it's just a fun team to beat up on. The Knicks were up something like 30-3 at some point to start that game.
Yeah, that was a nice romp. It was definitely enjoyable. But I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, we're playing an instructional league team, and look, we're doing what we have to do. We're beating teams we need to beat. I remember in years past, like the Mellow years, we always used to play up against the better teams, and those would be the games that we'd win. And we'd be like, hey, how come we can't win all the other games? We just beat, whomever, the Celtics, but we beat the Celtics by, 10 points, or like the Spurs or somebody. Why can't we, beat all the other teams that are, below 500 teams and such? But yeah, so, I mean, that was nice to see. Look, I mean, I'm optimistic. I really am. I'm excited to watch this team, and I'm happy that, they're playing the way they are. I mean, I'm really into, the way that Taj and Nerlens have stepped up. I mean, it's incredible. Those guys are almost like monster level, like fives, right? I mean, really, when it comes to it defensively, obviously, there's a lot of, with those guys, there's a lot of back and forth. You got to deal with the yin and you got to deal with the yang with those guys offensively. And you got to, they make really bad, like boob decisions, terrible passing sometimes. They force shot. They miss layups, tons of layups. I mean, how many layups did these guys miss lately? It's crazy. Like, they need to get on a layup line. I mean,
what actually was so brutal in the Brooklyn at the net game last night was that the end of the first half, Taj dunked the ball, and by a quarter of a second, he missed the dunk because the clock ran out. And if that dunk goes in, I mean, the Knicks lost by 2 points last night. So that was a pretty big 2 points.
Couldn't believe that the ball, it was still on his fingertips, and they reviewed it, and they came back after the break, and yeah, that was huge. I mean, who would have thought that would have been all the difference in the game? But it was. I mean,
that was so brutal. And the thing is also in that play, IQ was dribbling. I guess they got a steal. I think it was. But IQ, like, he passes the ball to Burks, then Burks passed. Like, it was like you can't make two passes with 3 seconds to go on the clock. One of you guys has to shoot before Taj.
Right, shoot the ball, maybe like a little teardrop kind of thing, shake and bake kind of thing, or it was too much. But look, you still got to give them credit. I mean, the passing has been good. The passing was good on that play. The movement, without the ball. I mean, yeah, that was terrible.
Cousin Jay, let me ask you: Do you hate the Nets? Because I'm starting to just goddamn hate the Nets. I watched that last night, and I'm like, what, like? Durant's, yeah. we have a friend, one of Cousin's really good friends who switched from the Knicks to the Nets when the Brooklyn got a team.
Terrible.
Which was just
beyond comprehension, and it's beyond, I don't even know what the word would be, but I mean, in fairness, we're both from Brooklyn. His parents, his mom still lives there. He has a ton of siblings. He has 4 other siblings. They decided, with Dolan, and they kind of got together. I mean, I think it was what, Phil Jackson? Was it like?
It was right when Brooklyn started.
Right when the Nets, What was going on with the Knicks at that point? I think I'm pretty sure it was like Triangle Knicks. Anyway, so, whatever. I mean, they were going to go to games together. They were all living in Brooklyn, F the Knicks. Am I allowed to say F-U-C-K?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But only if you spell it.
I won't say that because we have like children and stuff. But all right, so
our entire audience is just toddlers, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Our children are like 1, so they can't spell. Just kidding. But anyway, so what were we talking about? I'm sorry.
Oh, we were just talking about our friend who switched over.
Brady.
Host Jay, let me ask you: is it okay are you okay with his decision to switch over? Like, do you go, oh my god, I can't believe he did that, or like with some background, he's from there, the whole family made a decision? Does that sound better to you?
He's from there, and he made the switch before they signed all the big stars. So
They were
fine.
trash when he made the switch.
Yeah, so that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never let him live it down and forget it. Obviously, I mean, we were like really big Knicks fans. I mean, he's my roommate in college, and we went to tons of games, playoff games. But anyway, yeah, I mean, at this point, it's kind of we actually recently we kind of had like a little heart to heart about it. It's pretty funny, but whatever. I mean, we still go to games together. I go to Knicks Nets games. Obviously not since we haven't gone since COVID, but.
How do you have a heart to heart where you're like, you know what? It's okay. You can see the Nets also. I still love you. Make out with me.
It's pretty funny. I'm on a text with like him and his brothers, and like and anytime something happens, so I think one of them found a shirt. I don't know where they were. It was like a Knicks shirt. We just start ripping on each other, and it got kind of heated and this and that. But his brother was upset, and this went back and forth, and. Well, I mean, it is what it is. We're huge. He was a huge Knicks fan. And then one day he's like, I'm a Nets fan now. It's just, I'll never be able to, it's like, I said to him, we're Met fans also. I said to him, okay, so if the Yankees start playing in Brooklyn, are you going to be a Yankee fan? I mean, it's just beyond, to me, I don't get it. But I mean, I do get it. They all live in Brooklyn. They get on a train. The tickets are, a quarter is expensive. They go to tons of games together. They really had a lot out against Dolan, and they're in the Oak Tree camp.
Yeah, I'll just give you some more background. Host Jay, he switched over. He was a Trump fan, but switched over to Biden when Biden won.
Well, Trump did that himself. He was a Democrat and decided,
yeah.
Andrew said if he's a hardcore fan, he can't switch because clearly his heart was never fully into the Knicks.
Exactly. He never really gave himself over to the team. So, yeah. But I hate the Nets. The Nets, like, they don't have Durant last night. Harden's like, I'm only gonna play a quarter. Something's hurting me. I'm not gonna play the rest of the game. And Kyrie Irving, who doesn't even know the shape of the earth, is like, I'm just gonna drain every shot possible against you because I'm gonna give you more reason to hate me.
I saw the Randall slander going hard last night because he missed the shot. Somebody tweeted he had a triple-double and he had all these numbers, but at the end of the game, he missed a shot and had a turnover. So he's not a winner and like all this stuff. And it's like the entire team is focused on Randall the entire game. What would the Knicks look like without Randall? They'd have like 4 wins.
They look like Detroit, basically.
Yeah. So
unbelievable.
I hate seeing tweets like that. Like, he missed a shot. It's not like game-winning shots are 100%. He got a good look, and he missed. It wasn't an air ball. He barely missed.
Right, but he took the shot. Stepped up.
He took the shot. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, in terms of, look, Kyrie, when was the last time you saw one player single-handedly, like, take the game on his shoulders and beat us? I mean, that was incredible. Kyrie still has it. I mean, he's top 10 easy in the league, right?
You forget how good he is because you don't if you're not watching him all the time, you forget how good he is. I was watching him last night. I'm like, and the Knicks did at the end of the game, they were double teaming him. It was going a little better, but generally speaking, the Knicks weren't doing a terrible job guarding him. He was taking shot after shot where you're like, oh, well, that's a good. Oh, okay, one in. Okay, well, find that one in also. How did he freaking make that one?
He was brutalizing us. I mean, his strength is incredible. His speed. I mean, his skill.
His handle is ridiculous. Like everything.
It's ridiculous. I mean, watching that was like, he could shoot from anywhere in the court. But yeah, it's just, and not only that, look at Blake. Griffin decided, he's playing every other game now, right? He decided he wasn't going to play last night. They still beat us.
LaMarcus, it wasn't even. They have LaMarcus Aldridge also. Everyone just joins their team, but it's not even that. They have guys like that guy Chiot. No, who was it last night? Nick Claxton, Anthony Johnson, like all these guys.
Speedy Claxton, right?
Yeah, all these random guys are like, these guys are the ones that are beating us now. Like, I feel if Kyrie Irving hits those shots, fine. But these other dudes, I'm just like, what the hell? Now they're hitting shots against us?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, the Nets, they're not even playing. I mean, how many games have those guys played together?
7.
It's gonna, yeah, 7. They've played 7 so far altogether, and it's gonna be tough for the NBA because they apparently have to schedule the playoffs around the 5 times a year that those guys want to play together. They're like, we're not free. I don't think we all feel like playing. You got to schedule the playoffs around us.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be interesting to see, in the playoffs, especially now. Harden went down hard, and it's the same. I think it's the same injury he was down with before. So now,
Yeah,
who knows how long he's going to be out? He could be done for the rest of the season, right? I mean, how many games did he come back for? 1 or 2, right? And then now he's down with the same thing.
I mean, the Nets are winning without them, so in theory, they're going to be well seeded for the playoffs, no matter wherever they end up in the seed. Do you just rest those guys and get them ready for the real season in the playoffs, or at some point do they need to gel before the season?
That's what's happening. Maybe you hit the nail right on the head. Maybe that's what's happening. They're not nowhere near as badly hurt as people think. They're resting them. They have the first seed, right? I mean, you don't need them to play.
Yeah, I think last night it wasn't
one, right?
Yeah, I think Harden last night it wasn't that he was so injured. It was just like he felt like a twinge and was like, there's no reason I need to come back in this game. We'll win this anyway.
Yeah, he could have totally been fine.
Yeah, Andrew has a good point. Can you imagine the media spin if the Knicks had 3 stars that have only played 7 games together?
And it seems like it's a bad thing, right? When in actuality, maybe Nash is like brilliant. I mean, I'm sure he's obviously a really smart guy, and he's look, we don't need him to play until we fall into the 2 hole, or until we get close. I mean, how many games are they up in the 1?
I mean,
It's
do
close.
they really? Are they up by a lot?
No, it's close.
Yeah. Do they even need the 1 seed though? Like, is it that important?
I don't think so. I mean,
it's not even that. I mean, because if you think about it, right, even if you fall down, you're going to get home court advantage until the
conference finals.
Conference finals, yeah.
That's the only way you're not going to have home court is if the ones that making it, which I haven't looked at the standings at all.
I think Philly would be. I think Philly has the best chance of taking. Is Philly close to them? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. What matters is if their big 3 is healthy for the playoffs. That's the only thing that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's really unfortunate in many ways, but I do think there's a very good chance they win the title.
I feel like we've talked way too much Nets. So let's not.
Can I just say one last thing?
Of course.
You do need them to play together. You need the chemistry. So it's not like they could just let one of them play randomly and then let another one play. You need them all to play together to kind of gel. So
no,
I seen before
even the big 3 in Miami, like they took a little while. They had issues gelling at first. Like it's not just enough. The only thing I'd say about this is like you have Harden has made his game become a very, very willing passer, and that helps really facilitate things. He doesn't need his scoring as much here like he did in Houston.
Yes, he's kind of subordinated his scoring, and I mean that team, and if they all have that attitude, they could really do something. But yeah, I mean someone's got to score. But anyway.
Cousin Jay, I have a question from Facebook for you. Rob writes, if the Knicks missed the playoffs due to last week and possibly losing all 3 games this week, Nets, Celtics, Grizzlies, would you call it a disappointment or just be happy to have another shot in the lottery for one more piece?
If the Knicks missed the playoffs,
so the Knicks missed the playoffs.
Would I be happy because we have a shot at a top lottery pick?
Yeah, so like
we never get, even if we have like the greatest odds, we always wound up somehow slipping like 3 or 4 spots, which is kind of.
And even if we had a good spot, we'd mess up the draft.
Right, but let's say so. But yeah, would you feel so bad if the Knicks missed the playoffs and have a shot?
No, I don't know because we're gonna get somebody in free agency. We have so much money available that doesn't really matter to me. I want to win.
There isn't actually Post Jay and I were going through the free agency for this offseason. There isn't a lot out there outside of like Lonzo Ball. There's not a lot of guys that you're like they make sense to get. A lot of the guys like Kyrie, like Lowry, sounds great, but he's like 36 years old. It's either guys over the hill, or you take a chance on a guy like Ball.
Yeah, this year I think next year, the year after, we'll be in a much the free agent market looks a lot better. But yeah, I saw some of that too. Look, but I mean, in terms of lottery pick, look, I want to win now. Okay, I think that the team we have, especially, it just stinks with Mitch Rob down. But defensively, we're right there, and you with Adam.
They haven't really lost. They haven't lost us that much without. I mean, Mitchell Robinson. I would like to have him healthy, but they've done so well. Noel and Gibson have done so well without him that like they haven't really missed that much of a beat. It's the I almost actually really where I miss Mitchell Robinson more is his offense. Not that he provides so much like his putbacks and just the lob with him.
Yeah,
I think that is
pick and rolls, the alley-oops, the lobs, the putbacks, just the dirty offense. I mean, and it's his athleticism is off the charts, Mitch Rob. He's so raw. It's unbelievable. How do you feel about that question? You want a lottery pick over a shot at, run in the playoffs? I think we could actually win in the playoffs too. That's the thing. I think we could actually, the East is so weak. I mean, are we going to,
So last week we were sitting where the Knicks were sitting, and the Knicks have fallen to like 7th or 8th, I guess, but they were sitting at 5 for a little bit. And the first round would have been against Charlotte.
5 is great. Yeah.
First round of matchup against Charlotte, I was like, the Knicks could make the second round. There's no that's a very even series. I
want to make the second round of the playoffs, and I want to.
That would be awesome.
Post. I don't want to, but I mean, look, I don't know. I guess that would be a nice consolation, but
yeah, not that you throw a parade for second round, but I would like the Knicks to at the very least make the. I'd like to at the very least see them make the play-in tournament. It'd be cool if they make the playoffs. But whatever happens from here, as long as the Knicks don't have an epic collapse, I'm going to be pretty happy with the season.
Yeah, and based on the schedule and your level of optimism, you think that might happen?
Yeah, I don't know. It could happen. Yeah, you're right. The team could collapse. I don't know. Coming into the season, I was like, we talked about before the season, and I was like, the Knicks have so little on this roster. I was like, Randall, people are down on. I'm like, yeah, whatever, Randall. This guy, Obi, I didn't even like the draft pick. RJ hadn't shown that much his rookie year. I was like, he's got potential, but I don't like there was so little on this roster. And now I'm looking at the team like Randall's an all-star. RJ has taken such a step forward this year that I feel like I don't know if he's gonna be an all-star, but his future is super bright. They got this guy IQ. Robinson's playing better. There's so much. The team is there's so much more in this team now than it was going into the season.
Okay, check this out, okay? Randall is obviously an all-star. We know that. He's been playing amazing. When was the last time? First of all, our defense is phenomenal, okay?
Yeah.
Phenomenal defense, like, big man, in the lane, transition D, getting back on time. When was the last time? So take that, okay? Put that aside, okay, our defense.
Yeah.
When was the last time you can remember, as a Knicks fan, as long as you've been a Knicks fan, when was the last time you can remember us having as many shooters that we have right now that legitimately shoot threes that could hit 5 3-pointers in a game? When was the last time you could recall that?
With the
defense. Couple that with the defense.
So I was gonna say I love the defense. I am not sure where you are with the shooters in the sense of I don't think we have that many shooters.
Okay.
I feel like we need more shooters because I'm looking at this team like IQ, he's a shooter, definitely streaky. Burks, streaky. I like his shooting. Obviously Barrett. Obviously Bullock also, and Randall. I don't know. I feel like this team could use some more shooting.
Okay, so you just named Burks.
I need 4 guys. You're right. I need 4 guys.
Burks, IQ, Bullock, Randall.
All 4. You're right. All 4 of those guys could hit 4 or 5 3-pointers.
And Derrick Rose, he's 5. Derrick Rose buried 3 in a row last night.
He did.
One from the top. And Derrick Rose is the kind of guy who gets to the spot because he's so quick. He gets there and he gets those opportunities. Beyond that, Obi could shoot threes. Okay, so he kind of spreads the floor. I mean, I'm not jumping out of my seat when I see him take one, but
yeah, I'm not convincing him yet, but yeah.
And you said Barrett. Who else is there?
I mean, RJ to a certain extent, his 3-point shooting has been a lot better this season.
I mean, we have 6 guys that are legitimate threats from beyond the arc. I mean, that's pretty good.
So where
Defense,
do you?
we got to spread the floor. We got to get those open shots. We got to beat the other teams in transition. We got to beat them up hard in transition. Get back in transition, and really beyond that, that's all we can do. We can't really do much more than that.
So, Cousin Jay, where do you think the Knicks are in 3-point shooting percentage in the NBA? Of the 30 teams, what place do you think they are?
I have no idea. Probably somewhere in the middle of the pack, towards the bottom. I mean, we take so many threes, so probably. Yeah, we don't score that much.
So
probably,
just guess, but just throw it out there.
I don't know, middle to the bottom. I'm not sure.
So you're thinking like the Knicks 3-point percentage. You're saying maybe 25th.
I don't know. What are you trying to prove here?
Oh, I'm not trying to prove anything. I have it right here. The Knicks are actually. I actually thought you would say higher. The Knicks are 9th in the NBA in 3-point shooting percentage.
Oh wow, I would have said.
Yeah, no, I was saying that actually helps your point. Your point about the Knicks having shooting.
You kind of threw me when.
No, I was arguing.
You're arguing for me. You're trying to.
Yeah.
You're being supportive.
I was being sorry. Actually, the weird thing is, so the Knicks are high in shooting percentage, but where the Knicks are, you think the Knicks shoot a lot of 3-point. Where do you think they are in 3-point attempted a game?
3-point attempts in the game, I would say.
They're ninth. They're ninth in percentage. Where are they in attempts?
Definitely towards the top. I mean, they take a lot of threes. Somewhere in the top.
They're actually 29th.
Really?
Yeah, they take the second fewest shoot threes. And they take 29 a game, but it's the second fewest in the NBA. The only team that takes less threes than them is Cleveland.
That's amazing. I really would have thought they took way more.
You know what's crazy? So the Knicks take 29.
Because they all have the green light. Think about how many guys on the Knicks have the green light. I would have thought they were probably top, 6 or 7.
So the Knicks shoot 29. The Jazz shoot 43.
Wow.
It's just insane where the league is.
West Coast, East Coast. I mean, the Knicks are more of a bang-up team. I mean, I wonder if that'll start to shift with Mitch Rob out of the lineup. If that'll, but yeah, that's something.
Though they commented on the game last night, the Knicks are taking more threes lately. I guess it's not reflected in the overall stats, but the Knicks are they're taking more threes than they had been earlier in the season.
Interesting. Yeah, I would think so. Obviously, without all those easy putbacks and alley oops and stuff, it's probably the floor probably has to get a little bit. Probably has to come out a bit, but look, I mean, I'm happy seeing, we're doing what we can do. There's not much more there for us. I mean, the passing has been really good. The defense has been really good. Would it be nice to have a solid, leader out there at the one? Absolutely. It's just not what we have now. We have a lot of combo guards. We have a lot of 1/2s.
Where do you think the Jazz? Just because I have the stats up now. Where do you think the Knicks are in points per game in the NBA?
I don't like this game. I'm done playing this game. Host Jay, you want to answer him?
It's dead last.
You can't look.
No, they're 28th. It's just like if they can figure out a way to keep this defense somewhere where it is, like they're great on defense. If they can figure out how to somehow get their offense from like bottom 5 to like middle of the pack, they'll be a really good team.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes with the passing and moving without the ball. You don't have any legitimate. I don't even consider Randall a legitimate scorer. I don't even consider him a legitimate scoring threat. I mean, obviously, in our on our team, he's our best. He's our best opportunity. He's our best option. And but he's not really. He's just not. Look, he's in shape. He plays really hard. He had a triple-double last night. Amazing game.
Yeah.
He's streaky, and he's not like, he's not the, he's going to back a guy down instead of really like taking him off the dribble.
He's definitely not.
He's not a number one scorer. He's just not. I mean, to me, obviously on our team, he is.
I don't think that's knocking. He could be an all-star and be a very good player. He doesn't have to be like he doesn't have to be this. He doesn't have to be an amazing, like the team needs more. You could use maybe someone who'd be a better scorer than him on the team.
Right.
A lot of people, so Host Jay in particular, and a lot of other people have been doing the comparison of like Melo versus Julius Randle on the Knicks. Julius Randle currently, the way he's playing this season, he's playing better defense than Melo ever played. He's passing better than Melo ever played. But
That's
Melo obviously
right there.
passing.
I mean, you can't compare Julius Randle's game to Melo's game. You just can't.
Yeah, it's a different game.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I understand, where the comparison is drawn, but to me, they're two separate, planets. But anyway.
Yeah, I think the bigger point though is like he wasn't the score. He's not the scorer that Melo was. The Knicks could really use a guy that's I don't know as good as, but you need a guy like he's just not the like Coach Jay. Do you think Cousin Jay is post Cousin? I think Cousin Jay is onto something with this. I think that Melo. The one thing about Randall is he's not a number one option for scoring if the Knicks really want to take this to the next level.
I don't know about that. I just think they need other consistent threats. Like the other day, they were like, "Oh well, we hope Barrett takes the last shot because he's going to miss." And like, if the Knicks had another legitimate threat, Randall would look even better because he wouldn't be doubled every play.
That was, by the way, that was pretty cold. Anthony Edwards is like, we hope we took the last play. We know he's going to miss. I'm like, Anthony Edwards, you've been in this league for half a second. Your team is trash. I'm glad you won a game, but like, please don't do something in the league before you're trying to talk trash about other people.
Do we have any other listener questions?
No. We almost out of time?
Yeah.
And
We have a couple emails.
Okay. Let's do the emails and then we'll wrap it up.
NY Knicks
Cousin Jay?
podcast.
right on. Sounds good. This has been awesome, guys. Thanks for this. This is cool. This has been fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah. This is great.
NY Knicks podcast at gmail.com. Let's see. We talked about this. We'll address it real quick. Phil writes, longtime listener, Knicks fan since the same time you guys began watching in the late 80s. Love your show. It's usually the best and always the most funny commentary on the Knicks around. He said, I'm getting sick and tired of our podcasts ending with a bridge to Twitch. Why are we trying to drag listeners to a whole nother forum? We've done that the last 4 or 5 episodes, so what's the point? It goes on. He just says, have a natural ending to the show. We understand we missed a couple questions that we read on Twitch instead of the podcast, and that's our bad. As far as doing the show on Twitch, we like the live interaction. We think it adds something to the show. We've been doing this for a while, and we kind of wanted to try something new, and we think it's fun, doing some interacting. So we will read all the questions on the show going forward, and we're still doing the shows live, and we'll chat afterwards, but we'll make it a more seamless, sounding episode.
We're just trying to offer the opportunity. If you want to chat with us live on the show, you can now via Twitch. And all the good content is on the show. Afterwards, we used to basically, when the show would end, Jay and I would talk for like 10 more minutes. And so that 10 more minutes now is on Twitch instead of not being recorded, really.
Right. And Jorge writes, thoughts on RJ getting completely left off ESPN's top 25 players under 25?
Cousin Jay, what do you think about that?
RJ is developing. I mean, he's playing a lot better than he did, last year. And, I don't look, he's definitely, he can see. The thing about him is I feel like he's at a crossroads. Right? He could either become an elite all-star. I feel like he has that ability. Okay. And he's learning the NBA game. It's so much different from where he was, especially at Duke and everything. And what he was asked to do there, but he's also he's so strong with his left hand. He's so weak with his right hand. He's passing more than he's ever passed. It's a snub. All right. There's definitely some validity there to what the listener said, but I don't think it's a travesty that he didn't make that list. What I would like to happen, I hope the NBA comes out with a list of the top 25 players named RJ currently on the Knicks, and they leave him off. I want him to be snubbed to no end. I want him to play with the biggest chip on his shoulder. So he just says, F you all, I'm going to get better and show you all, basically. I want as many chips on his shoulders as possible. He definitely has that chip on his shoulder, and that's nice to see. His confidence is through the roof, okay? He just needs to back it up with his game, and it looks like he is. I mean, he's had a great season for us. Fantastic season.
I mean, ESPN is pretty much a pay site at this point, so I didn't see the list because it was under that paywall. So I can't really say how bad he got snubbed. Maybe I wouldn't have put him there. I don't know. I didn't see it
either.
Yeah. Whatever. Let's just assume it was a travesty, a crime against humanity.
He might have been 26. He might have been 25 and a half. I mean, really, when it came down to it.
Yeah, I mean those 25 guys. It could be totally fair. I mean, there are a lot of good young guys in the league, but I feel like he was left off the all rookie team and the first and the second all rookie team. I feel like he took that and was like, I'm going to work extra hard. Like I think he likes those snubs like help for him.
Yeah, fuel to the fire. Absolutely, motivation.
You know what? I was thinking this, Cousin Jay. Going back to Randall for a second. Do you think if the Knicks had a legit point guard who could make Randall's life a little bit easier, he could be the scoring threat we need?
To take some of that off his shoulders.
He doesn't get easy baskets.
Absolutely. I mean, he's definitely getting much better shots this year because our passing is much better. I mean, Randall's been passing, Taj and Nerlens have been passing. I mean, point guard couldn't hurt. That's for sure. Definitely couldn't hurt. I'm happy where he is, though. I think he's happy where he is too. The best thing is that, he really is. The confidence is fantastic with that dude.
Yeah.
See, I love RJ. RJ's the man. My son has an RJ jersey. I just, look, I mean, it could go either way. He's so strong with his left hand, though. I mean, when I used to play basketball, I played with my left hand sometimes. It's like, why can't he practice layups from the right side of the court? Set him up and make him do 50 layups with his right hand every day.
You know what he also does, which drives me a little crazy, is sometimes he tries to force it to the net. Like he just goes into defenders. Like sometimes he makes it, it's great. Sometimes he just goes in there when there's clearly no play to be had and just turns the ball over.
Out of control, totally, completely.
Yeah. Like it's one of the things like he's learned a lot. Like he's finishing much better than he finished last year. But there were some plays, even he had against in the Nets last night, there were a couple plays where he drove in there where the defenders were right there. Like he didn't there was no hole to go in, no move around.
Right.
You can't just drive in when they're literally standing there. They don't have to move basically to block you.
Right. He also seems, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, stats Nazi. Mark, that's you, by the way. But,
I appreciate, as a Jew, I appreciate anything with the word Nazi. Thank
exactly.
You.
Me too. Well, as a Jew, I, appreciate throwing that term around, obviously.
By the way, host Jay, don't use the Nazi shit. This is the Jews in the show can use it, but not you.
Yeah, we're gonna edit this, right, host Jay?
We are actually.
We could talk about how we.
I think host Jay says we're out of time. Here.
We're out of time.
But anyway, can I just say one last thing?
Sure. Say your last thing, and then we're gonna
I was just going to say with the stats, I wonder, it seems like he's getting the calls this year, Barrett. It seems like he's going to the line, as opposed to in years, last year before he would, drive into, three guys and he'd get hacked by two of them and he wouldn't get the call. It just seems like, but also speaking of calls, it's nice to see us actually shooting free throws.
Yeah.
Free throws.
So, Cousin Jay, thank you for joining us. It was goddamn awesome. I think the hot tub gives you extra power to make you an even better guest.
Next week, the whole show will be from the hot tub, everybody.
All three of us will be in the hot tub.
Not only the three of us, but everybody.
Yeah.
Hot tub.
We're inviting the entire audience to come into Cousin Jay's hot tub.
Partay in the hot tub in the burbs. Where I live? In the burbs.
All right. We'll see you all next week. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
My love. Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. It's time to go. This is the end.